No time for that small talk. No time.
D.Chamberz 6'2", no time for the small talk. Time now, it's 8:39. We have a special guest here. If you don't know, you need to know. I'll let him introduce himself.
What up, Meth? In the building. What up, *Chamberz?
Oh, shit.
That's the introduction.
Meth the Man is here. So, it's a lot, right? So, did you see yourself doing this, like, coming out of Staten Island years ago? Like, everything that's happening?
No, I don't think anybody, well, some people imagine it for themselves. I didn't. I don't know. Shit kind of fell, the chips kind of fell where they fell, you know, especially with the company I kept when I was in my transition in life, becoming a young man from a young boy. And these niggas like to rhyme.
Okay. So who was in the building? Who was the guy that you was like, oh, okay, I gotta, because I know it was a very aggressive time rapping. You had to smash mics. Who mics that like you had to get it in with from Staten Island to just be recognized? Who was that?
No, it was a camaraderie back then, though. It was like if you could rhyme and shit, you always had respect for niggas that could rhyme. So I hung with Chef at first. Chef turned into Cap, 𝐓𝐔𝐄𝐃, a bunch of other brothers that just rhymed all the time. So when it came my time to start rhyming, I wrote my first verse. It was a song I did with Chef called I'm on a Mission.
Right.
And from there, I moved back to Long Island, but I remembered all them rhymes niggas used to say in the staircase. So while I'm in Long Island, all them rhymes became my rhymes. Ain't nobody know that they was theirs, you know? So I was, and after a while, you know, you run out of material. You got to start writing your own shit.
Okay.
So I started writing my own shit, and I was nice with it. Like, oh, shit.
Okay. What was the most slept on record that you thought was going to be something and they looked at something else? What was that record?
Most slept on record that I did?
Yeah, like, you know, everybody knows that, like, you know, everybody have a record that they thought was going to do it, but they didn't do it when it was the other record. Or did you know every record was going to hit the way it did?
I ain't never really make music for everybody, though. The way I did it was, I was still in the staircase. I was just trying to impress them niggas that was in my circle.
You was local.
Right. And so for me, even when Wu-Tang was hitting, I was still just trying to please those brothers in my circle. Because to me, they the bottom line. Fuck everybody else. These niggas is nice. You know?
Wow. Yeah, and that's crazy. And so it's like, okay, at that time, it was like a lot of groups. Do you think like coming out of Staten Island, that was just a breath of fresh air for New York City at that time, like moving forth? Because
I feel like we had a kind of an advantage coming from a borough that nobody really considered part of New York, and that's fucked up. But anyway, it was crazy to people, first off, that anybody in Staten Island could rhyme like this and that they had black people there. Second, the fact that we came with so many numbers, this had never been done before, but in a sense it had with ⴑ but I think like only 3 of them niggas rhymed. Right. But everybody rhymed, and it was like, we never seen anything like this before and shit. And the fact that each individual had a different style. By the time you get to an Old Dirty Bastard, your head already blown because you done heard GZA, you know what I mean? You done heard Deck, Chef. It's like, who are these niggas?
What was the first group record that before it was like titled like the first group?
I'm about to say, does it follow the web series? The not the web series, sorry, the series, the Wu-Tang shit. Everything in that is true?
The Hulu series, I would say, is like
a highlight?
60-40, 40%.
Some spice, some razzle dazzle?
60%, nah. You know, yeah, the 60% razzle dazzle. But I'm not going to discredit RZA's work,
right,
and what he was trying to accomplish. Then you have to factor into the fact that there's a lot of crime and shit on there.
Yeah.
And some of these people may still have open cases, so you want to protect.
Or reunite old wounds.
But there was beef within the group like that? Because, I mean, the first episode, you got Chef going after Ghostface. Like, what the fuck?
Yo, that was crazy.
That never happened, right?
That never happened.
I was like, in all documentaries I've watched, I've never heard beef between y'all like that.
Chef and Ghost didn't know each other really until we started making the music, and they just clicked because they were so much alike. So, that's a fabrication right there. It made for good TV, though.
So RZA knew who to put together.
Mm-hmm.
So now, like...
No, we were all rhyming before that. We were all... It was like this. Fridays when motherfuckers was in the clubs in Manhattan and, doing it. You know how motherfuckers used to get down because y'all had a train ride. It was just a train ride for y'all. For us, it was the ferry. On those Fridays and Saturday nights, we would be at RZA's house. Nigga was always making beats. We was just making tapes. Rhyming. And you want to get there first to hear the freshest beat.
So that part of the movie was true.
So you get the best little okay.
Yeah. And I used to be there every day. I got like old shit. Matter of fact, J Love got a lot of them shits. Like the original Ice Cream. Shit like that.
And that never released either. Wow.
The beat more raw.
The fucking shit. The Method Man beat. I sat there and watched RZA make that motherfucker.
That's my favorite fucking song.
And the Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With beat. I sat there and watched them make that shit.
What do you think was the craziest verse you had on that album that made you stay like, yo, because it was a time where it's like
all of them.
You got crazy on all of them.
Yeah.
Right.
I was on some other shit back then.
You was the calmest one out of the group, though.
I feel
like you be in your own little world sometimes.
Actually, my G's and they still like this too cool for school kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to act any different than I do on the block. For me, I always been like a performer. Just something about it. I come from a family where the grown-ups would put the kids, cousins, all that shit in one room while they in the living room smoking, drinking. You can smell the weed coming from up underneath. But they wouldn't listen to no fucking Red Fox. They would listen to Parliament Funkadelic, shit like that. And they be in there bobbing, and then like an hour later they come, y'all kids come out here and dance for us.
Let me ask you a question. If you was doing music, like you still do music now, if you was the young Meth in today's climate, how would you approach this game?
I'll be drilled like a motherfucker. I'll be drilling.
Wait. Nah, but what you said? You said if you was younger, you wouldn't try it though?
Try what?
Drill beat.
Yeah. I could rhyme on
I'll just say if he was
now.
You
do
it.
I do it now.
I was
shit.
You'd have been killing to do shit.
Let me tell you like this, all right?
Because I heard it's a hard transition if you really are into boom rap or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
can you switch over?
I'm going to let you know like this. The younger generation, especially the younger black generation, is always going to set the trend and the pace for what is going to be cool.
Facts.
Regardless. So whether we like it or not, or they like it or not, it is what it fucking is. With that being said, I could rhyme on any fucking thing. Anything.
I believe.
But do you think like when people try to do collabs with you now, they just try to reignite the old feeling that you came out with, or do they ever try to give you something like new and innovative, like, yo, you know what, I wanted to take you here with it, or do they just always try to customize it to your liking?
I always felt like anytime anybody sent me a beat, they trust me enough to even send the shit to me. You know what I mean? Like
they should know better. Yeah.
He's gonna kill this one. I'm gonna send this to Method Man. So I take that into consideration whenever I start writing. Like, can't half-ass this one. I ain't trying to half-ass anything at this point, any fucking way. But it's like you got to put that extra effort into it when you're doing songs with other people because they trust you.
Okay.
My fault.
No. What Method Man did stood out? Is it the power meth or is it the music meth?
There is no power meth.
Who are we talking about?
Who are we talking about here? Are we talking about Davis McLean?
Okay, Davis McLean.
Or are we talking about Davis? Now, if we're talking about Davis, it's a whole different conversation.
Super professional.
My son snapped in character.
You got to pay him $5,000 for that answer. Hold on.
I don't think Method Man has been on that set.
That's a whole different bag.
A whole different bag.
Okay, fine. So, all right. So people like David, because Davis was crazy.
Who you mean right now? Who am I more like, Davis McLean or Method Man?
No, like when people see you, what are they saying? Like, you know, they know you.
When they see me in the street,
right?
I get them both.
You get them both.
I get them both. Some people METHOD, man, depending on the age. Some people say Davis. Some people say Cheese. You know,
facts. Bring it back.
Shit, you know. Motherfuckers niggas hate to be on that shit.
Or it's like, what's that?
Or Belly.
Yeah, that's what I was going back.
Everybody did, but they don't know his name and shit. Nobody know his fucking name.
Nobody did. I just knew you had the yellow AV. You was leading on the car, man. You know what I'm saying?
And it was busting at the cops before he fell out.
And the nigga and my son, my oldest son, that was his rhyme name for a while, and I didn't catch on to it. Father Shah.
Oh, Father Shah.
His name is Shaquan.
Because they called you. He's like, yo, right. Father Shah.
Knowledge Born was my man.
That about to say it's Knowledge Born with the business, baby. That's all I can say.
I think that everybody still takes that
Niggas still use it.
And use that dolo from state to state.
Some of that was written. Some of that shit was me. The dolo from state to state, that was written.
Okay.
Is you
For real?
about it food? That was not written. That was me.
You added that.
Yeah, and is this that nigga? Is this the illest nigga in Nebraska? They wrote that.
Wow.
For real.
But what Hype told me, the note was this. He was like, you got to make yourself look like a mark. You got to make yourself look like somebody that these niggas would want to rob. Somebody that's clueless to his surroundings.
And you did that. You knocked that out the park.
That's what I did. Yeah.
How did you feel about when they made How High too? I gotta ask because I seen Redman's response. I ain't hear nothing from him.
I don't feel any kind of way because I know how Hollywood works, and it's about time.
Yeah.
Time. And if you take too long with something, somebody else will see the value in it, and they'll pick it up and run with it. And I don't blame MTV or anybody else that wants to mess with the franchise, but at the end of the day, the people will speak and let it be known that we want, these two niggas to deliver us. I don't care what capacity it is. They just want to see me and him in some kind of How High movie.
Facts.
Now, for me, where I'm at right now in my, not just in my career, but in my life,
you didn't care for it.
It's like to even star in a movie called How High at this point would be a step backwards, in a sense.
But people love it.
I know people love it, but it would put me back in a category that I worked to get outside of it. It'll put me back in a box that I worked to get outside of. You know what I mean?
Because now you're a lawyer.
Right. Yeah. So I'm not saying I wouldn't do a How High Part 3. I'm just saying.
They gotta pay you that bill.
When, not if, but when we do a How High Part 3, it won't be in the same capacity as the How High Part 1.
Okay. I got another.
You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. What?
I didn't like How High Part 2. Just wanted you to know.
Oh, so
just saying, I didn't like it.
What determines when you looking on the gram? Because very few, you know what I'm saying, times you go, because you don't do the internet. For those who don't know, what makes you want to check for an artist? What gives you that spark to say, you know what, I'll work with this guy? You know what I mean?
My kids usually put me on to certain people.
For real?
Yeah, they real. Who isn't a music fanatic now? Everybody's like so plugged in, and you can get it at the drop of a dime, and it's always something dropping. I mean, it's to a point where multi-platinum established artists are dropping music without any promo, just word of mouth, and it's cutting the labels out of the business, which is bad for the labels, which I'm not mad at.
Oh shit, we're gonna get into that because, like I said, I remember when I first met you was at Matt Alpha's Double Barrel video shoot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We was all late. I don't know. We got cropped out of it. I felt like I was in the green screen.
Yeah.
We got cropped out.
That's Math was in the editing room.
Yeah. God bless Math. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy.
Yes, sir.
And then it was like Cortez. You did that.
Yeah.
You did that record.
Who I met there too.
That we all met at the same time.
And the young DNA. I think he was still Eric then. Now I'm playing.
Oh shit! Don't say that.
I know, right?
Because there's battles that say he never was around. But but we let that go.
No, he was around. He was.
But it was crazy. I didn't know how to approach the situation because when I saw you at the Rumble in the Bronx, and I think he was like doing behind the scenes for China Mac video shoot, and he was like, "ÇHAMBERZ, let's get one." I was like, I made it my business to get that to you within like the next day. Next day, like, boom. So by the time you woke up, it was there. Yeah. But what shocked me was your turnaround. You know what I'm saying? So like, how important is a turnaround to you when you doing the feature? Like, sometimes you probably don't feel it, or do you feel like all raps?
If it come back real quick, it could be two things. I love it, or I'm just in the zone at that point in time. If it come back later, it could be a few things. I'm working. The person that's on top of they shit is coming like, and I'm like, fuck this shit. I gotta come better. Like that kind of shit. And matter of fact, you know what happened? I did a song with ASAP Nas, right? Called Trillmatic or something like that. What's the name of my Trillmatic, I think. Yeah, Trillmatic, right? And I remember I said my first verse. Niggas sent that shit back.
Oh, they was like, was it Jackson?
What? I wasn't even angry. I wasn't mad at him because
I was about to say, was you embarrassed a little bit?
Because I take it like this. I take it like if my breath stink.
Oh shit!
The nigga that'll come to me and be like, "Yo, son,
that's being honest.
Yo, your breath stink, my nigga. Here, take care of that." I mean, it's funny to y'all and shit, but in that moment, this is a nigga being real with me right now. You know what I mean? So that's how I took it. I was like, okay. watch this. And I just
I tell you,
over that motherfucker.
I do give credit when it's due. I think it shocked everybody when you did the battle with the legends with Math. Yeah, when that. How was that for you? What was the
Math is family now. You know what I mean? Like I love Math, and usually, and you know this, usually when brothers call and shit, I'm on deck. I'm there. How in whatever capacity it is, as long as I don't feel uncomfortable or make anybody uncomfortable. So yeah,
I think that's impossible.
I mean, nah. I mean, after meeting me for like the first 5 minutes, people usually comfortable as fuck around me, girl.
In the barbershop,
don't light up in there. Shit.
I think Mayor Adams would have been proud if they saw how you made everybody put masks on in the barbershop at the video shoot.
Yeah, I did. I wasn't playing with that. Look, man, I gotta be on set early in the morning. I get the Rona. I could shut down production. I mean, come on. Who want to miss that check? For real, man.
You talking about the video shoot y'all did? I was wondering why you had a mask on. I'm like, my homegirl took a picture with you. I'm like,
that was the heart of
take the mask off. Damn.
It was
we didn't know what that shit was at that point in time and shit. It was like, nigga cough too much. It's, anything like
it was a wild crap
sweaty hands, anything.
Did they have masks on for the set of Power at that time too? Because I know y'all had a couple of episodes that was during quarantine.
We still got them.
Yeah, 50 ain't playing that.
We still got them.
Wow.
Shit.
Mm-hmm. Are you cool with your partner?
Who?
Like in real life, like outside the set, from Power, the cop, the other DA,
Shane,
yeah,
Shane Johnson,
yeah,
we cool as fuck, man. That motherfucker, he's a great guy. Let's just say that. And from day one when I was on set, he was very accommodating and shit, because that's a nerve-wracking experience.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't give a fuck what the production is, whether it's some new shit. It's just being in that atmosphere with all these great thinkers and creators and things of that nature. But I'm talking about coming after a show that people fucking loved. That ended on such a high that they was threatening somebody who wasn't even a grown man yet. Where did he kill this man? You know what I mean? And I know Michael personally, great dude. You know what I mean? Rarely loses his cool and shit.
That's crazy.
But that's some pressure, you know? And then to be coming on where people are getting ready for the show to start and they don't know what part I'm playing yet and things of that nature. And it's like, I bet that will be killed. And to see that lawyer shit.
Yeah, my mom lost it.
It was like, why they doing what? At first, I'm going to keep it a buck. People was like, I don't like it.
For real?
Yeah.
I thought that shit was tough because the way you came in was too smooth. I said, oh, this nigga right here.
I don't like Method Man like that.
But did you feel like you couldn't do that part? Or
no, I never did. I never thought I couldn't do it.
Had it in the bag.
Yeah. But it was more or less like these are the people that, for lack of a better word, are trapped in an era. So their picture of me is
Wu-Tang
that.
method.
It's that. And the how high shit and things of that nature. So it's like
the one contact.
No, but the greasy part with the money, I seen that all day. I was like, that's meth right there.
Well, every time he said, I'm gonna need 10,000. I said, there go to meth. There go to hood nigga.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
500K, by the way.
And then when Kane got with you in the car, you made that look real too. He was like, yo, nigga, like,
for me, that was more or less like knowing the situation that was going on at that point in time as Davis.
Right.
I knew that I was more valuable to him alive than I was dead.
Facts.
And the fact that Kane, as portrayed on the show, he's a very smart dude, but he's not that bright when it comes to my world.
Yo.
Right.
He not with the book shit.
He's a hothead.
He does make bad choices.
You gotta turn her mic up.
But Woody, I mean, brilliant dude right there. Very smart guy too. He played the shit out of that shit because people were really scared for my motherfucking life, and that's a testament to his work.
Did anybody
love that character?
Yeah.
Nobody has to answer. How do we feel about Zeke dancing? Like, damn, I'm ready. Like, is anyone?
Oh, he's so good.
Yo, leave that man alone, man. There was a video. He was in a club.
Damn,
he was getting it.
And I think
you never seen that?
Yo,
I'll change that. How was he?
That's what I'm saying. What's wrong with it? I mean, he looked at a little, stiff with it, but I feel like you're at that level.
Fresh off the body.
Like, Daniel, first off, Daniel is again, I'm gonna say this again, and I'm not saying this.
New actor.
He's a very intelligent young man who had to put up with a lot of shit. on the Twitter and all that shit. Especially when you
did.
know you're smart and people think that you're some kind of
it's
remedial fucking, you know what I mean? I've never seen this video. And if he's dancing in the club, I hope he had a great fucking time.
Oh, no,
Fuck
he
everybody.
looked
like he was
else.
having a
For real.
blast.
I want to say why
He was
anybody
having a
judging that.
blast. And first of all, everybody
And
talking
Monet
about
will
the
fuck you
video
up.
Okay.
made the song
Right.
go viral. The song went viral.
And Monet will fuck you up about her baby.
I fucking love her too.
Come
And
on,
Mary,
man.
oh man.
Come on, marry her ultimate G. And
Before, okay.
you be, if you're in this business long enough, you can see people change on you. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, depending on where they are in their life and shit, right? Mary never switched up on me.
Never.
Ever. If I ever needed Mary to come and make an appearance for me, Mary was motherfucking there. If I, felt like I wasn't where I needed to be in life at this point in time and depressed and all that shit, there was a Mary there to say, Meth, I need you for this show. And that shit would bring me up so much. And she don't even know this, but it would bring me up so much to the point where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna fight for this. I got people
Mama
like Mary J.
facts.
Blige still, checking for the kid and shit like that. That means
They
a
believe
lot.
in you.
I mean, that means a lot.
Mostly
That's why
her.
I'm always an advocate when people out of the clear blue just check on you. That shit means a lot.
That's 100% right there.
For real.
Because I know I had like a 2-hour convo. I was in the cloud, and then you were just like, yo, ＣHAMBERZ, I ain't gonna say what we spoke about, but you gave me the game. And I think from there, I just started, and I think you've seen it. And
But you was already on your job shit, you know what I mean? Sometimes we may need a little extra push. I'll say I gave you a little extra push, but you were already on your way to doing what you doing. For real. Serious. Right. You can see it when you speaking. You can see the focus in your eyes. You know what you want and you going for it. Salute.
Just
Appreciate
to kick
it,
down
man.
the doors. That's
Word.
all.
Yeah. Yo, so now I ask this question. Far as like labels today, like when you finished with the record industry, because for the young folks, do you think it's a rush to get into the majors, or they should take their time with the indie life?
I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, I don't give a shit. Get it how you get it.
Right.
Whether you sound
Depends on what feel comfortable for you.
It's like, bro, if you got a little talent and you feel like you want to dip your toe in the lake, fuck it, man. And then jump all the way in once you feel that water and you know it fits you. That's all.
Was Wu-Tang indie at first and then y'all got signed, or it was like, fuck that, we get signed before we even do any extra
Our
shit?
indie wasn't even indie because we had one
no such
record.
things.
It was like
It was no such thing back then?
Like it was. I mean, it was independent, but it wasn't
paid.
There's a lot to it. We rode to, like, my first road trip was sitting in Mookie's Mercure. Manager Mook, that's the dude that was telling the story about, yo, that's that shit. That motherfucker, smart as fuck too, by the way. And I remember because the whole trip we had one tape, Paul Mooney.
Okay. I'm dead.
And that was my introduction to Paul Mooney and shit. And they had us cracking up all the way to the University of Rhode Island, URI. Salute, the Rams. And that was my first road trip. And I swear to you, this shit was so weird because Mookie had a friend that played basketball there, and we were supposed to get on the radio with this little independent motherfucking record. 𝐔𝐃𝐒 was being cheap as usual and shit. He didn't want kicking for the hotel and shit. So we all got one room.
The hustler of the show.
Yes. Big time hustler.
Jewish.
Stingy as fuck. He's stingy as fuck. Jizzy used to say you can't squeeze a grease BB out his ass. And you know how small a BB is and shit. But that's my brother. That's my favorite Wu member too.
You said that on the song too.
For real.
Yeah,
that's my nigga right there. But damn, where was I in my story?
I'm sorry.
We'll change.
You said he wasn't trying to put out no bread for.
Yeah, so and I remember KFC because that shit was greasy and nasty as fuck. And I said, I'll never eat this shit again. We got invited to a game. We were there for 2 days. And the last day we were there, we got to the radio station. And I remember because we waited for like 2 hours to get on the radio for 2 minutes. And just to play Protect Your Neck. And I know as soon as we left, that fucking record left right with us because he probably ain't played that shit again after that. But our break came when Kid Capri played it. And Kid Capri had prime time.
Shout out to Kid Capri.
Yeah, absolutely. This nigga had a prime time slot. And it was like when he threw that shit on,
popping.
I don't know where Chef was. I heard Chef jumped in the air and shit. We was in front of the building, and
nigga.
I was still hustling.
Crazy. You say you listen to the music all the time, and you just sit here and you stargaze.
I love it.
All right,
No,
so
I'm just listening. I'm getting gems. Yeah,
okay,
that's all.
what was the record that made you a meth fan?
Wu-Tang, die hard Wu-Tang fan.
She a meth fan, nigga? Like that's
That's what I'm saying. She said that outside.
Yeah,
that's a hard drug, my nigga.
That is
How long
a hard
you been
drug,
on
man.
meth and
It was
shit?
the Wu-Tang.
Like for real, like what we
No,
talking
not
about?
that man. Method man.
She said, "Oh, Method Man."
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah,
Salute.
it was the Wu-Tang. I love it.
Just the impact alone of, like I said, people had never seen this shit before, and then to have solo deals within the crew, but they still a crew. What the fuck is this
That's
shit?
popping.
You know what I mean? So yeah, and everybody getting they point in time to shine. Because I remember when Chef dropped that Cuban Link shit, when you already on a roll, right? And the next, it becomes an event now because Chef rolls out with this only. And I remember we were at the Source Awards and they had the dopest fucking, because Steve Rifkin, if nobody knows, he invented the street team.
Okay.
He invented that shit. Had niggas out in the street promoting, da. These niggas pulled up with like 2 fucking like ice cream trucks. And they were serving these Italian ices, but it had Chef's logo on it.
That's fine.
Oh, that's fine.
What? In front of the Source
That's
Awards.
hard.
In front of Madison Square Garden.
And the Source Awards at that.
What?
That's fire.
Wow.
Like, that's a flex.
Yo, you know what? I know everybody. I love it. Shout out to you also acknowledging the 11224 boys, me killer, gang. You know what I mean? I appreciate that, showing that Coney Island, the Staten Island love. Could you give the people some inspirational before we get out of here?
Damn, I have one more question.
Y'all can get them. Y'all can get your questions.
Yeah.
One more. All right. In the Wu-Tang series, when you took the cane and busted up the whole club, what the fuck was that about? Real fast. So sorry.
See, that's 60% right.
That's what I said. I knew something. I'm like, I can't even see you really wild. And I was like, I don't know you, but I've seen you in interviews and all that. And I'm like, he don't act like that. So what really made you tear up the club, or did you tear up the club?
I ain't do no shit like that.
You never tore up the club?
I mean, we tore up some clubs and shit, but it wasn't for no shit like that. It might have been drug use. You know what I mean? He's doing some crazy shit, but never. Nah, that ain't happening. I love Dave though. Dave killing that shit. Shout out East.
Yeah, the show go hard.
Shout out to Dave East, man. So what would you leave inspirational for the artists that's that's still in this culture, that's still making legendary moves, and to the young legends that's coming up?
To all my creatives out there, just when you find your voice, run with it. Thanks. And not only just run with it, bring all those people that was there with you, because they're gonna keep you solid at all times, man. Keep you grounded. All right. I mean, I'm humbled to even still be in the business this fucking long. And it's a blessing to even
and not be big-headed either.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I done had the highs and lows, sis, for real.
Shit,
like,
you about to give me my first Spotify plaque. That shit went to 350 the first. I was like, yo, what the fuck is that?
Nice.
I can't wait. Don't worry, I'm calling you, man. We gonna pop champagne. Nice. I can't where you at, man. But that rap with a legend means a lot because, no matter how many features I did, that's what they remember.
I'm telling you, it's that sugar water and bum juice, nigga. That shit universal right there. They drink that shit in London.
The bundle and take it from you? It was the concert, yo. Meth trying to
bundle and take it from you.
It's like, yo, Meth was trying to kill you. They played that in the bundle.
And I couldn't even say he tried to kill you because it's the way he came on to it. Because the nigga said, on the humble. I said, you better, nigga.
I'm just saying, no, word is born. Like, when I wrote that shit, I was thinking, Coney Island niggas is just like Staten Island niggas, so they gonna like this shit when I say this shit. Right. Bum juice. Bum juice, my nigga. If you don't know what bum juice is, you out the conversation. Like, we can't even talk. I don't want to hear nothing ghetto out your motherfucking mouth. You don't know what bum juice is, nigga.
Any movies, anything we should look forward to? Any new projects?
Are you gonna do your own shit? I need to know.
Not yet, but we're working on that right there, man. I'm trying to get some production shit done.
I want
not just documentary, but TV as well as scripted. Shit. Sanaa Lathan.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a good start.
On the come up, book written by Angie Thomas, who also wrote The Hurt You Give, The Hate You Give, I mean. She a great girl too.
Wow.
Very nice.
It's a lot of women directors coming out. Right?
Well, you know,
because
the
they got more
sisters.
stories.
You know what it is? Sister's been locked out for so motherfucking long,
That
man.
they're going crazy
It's
so
only
much
right
now.
that they get their
And not
just
only
due
that,
now.
No time for that small talk.